Once again, welcome to our webinar on Skype for Business. My name's Ross. I'm from RNG Technologies, and this is one of our webinars as part of a series that we do once or twice a month. So we love doing these to help educate our audience on IT topics, cloud topics, and trends in the space. We had Tony Nissen scheduled for presenting this webinar today, but we've actually got Gordon Tan, our Managing Director, in to help us, which is very exciting. So I'm going to just hand it over to Gordon and he can take us through the presentation.
Thanks, Ross. Good morning, everyone. How are we? I apologize. I don't think you should be too excited. I think Tony's much better at this than I am, but I hope you're well today. Today we're going to be talking a little bit about Skype for Business, and in this session we're really looking at doing a 15-minute debrief, so it's very short, compressed, try to give you as much information as possible and really just answer any questions that you might have in relation to this upcoming technology. So we'll get started straight away. The agenda for today, again, it's going to be very, very quick and snappy, but we'll really first start talking about why this change is happening and what is specifically happening, how it's going to impact you as an organization, what new features they'll be available, how you go about getting an upgrade to Skype for Business, and what our predictions are for the future and where this technology might lead in the next 2 or 3 years. To start off with, so what's actually happened is about 3 years ago, Microsoft purchased Skype, who everyone should be pretty familiar with, for about $8.5 billion. And at that time, there was a lot of activity in the space about people kind of thinking that there was going to be some sort of merger or integration. However, that didn't happen. And what actually did happen was Microsoft came out with their own product called Lync, who a lot of people use separately or as part of Office 365. Very recently, they've announced that in the first half of 2015, they'll actually be rebranding Lync as Skype for Business, and on top of that, integrating a number of the features that Skype have into Lync, making a more all-inclusive and actually creating quite a good value proposition for organizations that are kind of already using the technology through Office 365. So that's really fundamentally the big shift, and it's going to be quite interesting to see how all that plays out. Why the change? Well, I mean, look, Microsoft already owns Skype. Skype is a very well-recognized, well-renowned brand, and therefore it made sense for Microsoft to do that. There was a lot of industry speculation that would actually happen earlier. What they've also been able to do as part of that is integrate a lot of the user experience that Skype has and that familiarity that people have with Skype and bring that into Lync. So there's actually going to be, which we'll talk about, some UI changes and some improved ways of communicating. And finally, it's about bringing extra functionality into Lync. So, Microsoft's vision is really to have Lync allow you to experience, I don't know what their exact the exact phrase is, but they're really looking to try to connect you more quickly and more easily than ever before. And so integrating the two and having that Lync, which has traditionally been a corporate internal communications tool, with Skype, which has traditionally been an external tool, is really, and marrying those two things is really what it's about. So in terms of the new features, there's going to be a few things that are going to be different. For a start, the UI is going to look very different. It's going to look very familiar for people that use Skype, which is actually a really, really good thing because there's a lot of people. We were having a conversation the other day with the technical team, and one of the things that came up was your grandma knows Skype. Your grandma doesn't know what Lync is, and it's very true. Everyone's using Skype. It's very ubiquitous these days, and so having that, that familiarity is going to mean that people are going to be able to use Lync a lot better. They're going to be bringing across things like familiar Skype icons, so you'll get that familiarity coming across. And they've also improved the user experience. As an example, if you're familiar with Skype, you know that trying to transfer a call or bring people into calls is actually kind of annoying. You've got to click quite a few different little, you need to click at least 3 times to make that happen. Whereas they've actually improved that user experience so that it's more like Lync, where it's kind of like one click to bring someone into a call. So that's really, really interesting. Aside from that, they're actually, they've improved, well, they're bringing some of the audio improvements that have kind of come as a result of Skype across, and they've also improved the mobile experience. So that's everything from your typical Microsoft Surface or Microsoft computers through to MacBooks, through to phones, even including a mobile update for Xbox One. So you can actually continue to use your personal gaming devices even to access the system. One of the actually the most interesting features, and probably the biggest feature, is that they're actually allowing you now out of Lync to call anyone from Skype for free. So at the moment, Skype has about 300 million users, of which 30 million are on at any one concurrent time. And I don't know about you, but I often have my Skype running as well as Lync. Skype more for personal and some business contacts outside the organization, and Lync more for the internal company side of things. What Microsoft are now able to do is allow you to kind of integrate that into one seamless solution, and therefore what you're going to be able to see is all of your Skype contacts in Lync and be able to again call them for free. Now you can actually do that already as part of Lync if you're already using Lync, but what you couldn't do before, and you can now, is the video component. So now you're going to be able to video call as well directly from Lync into Skype. So that's something that people are really, really actually quite excited about. Here we're talking about the different apps. So there's going to be better mobile functionality across the range, the suite of mobile applications, which is great. I'm not sure how many of you are familiar with the existing capability, but it's not that great. Skype, however, has very good capability, so it's fantastic that they've been able to bring that through as well. In terms of updating, how would you go about updating to Skype for Business? Well, there's two different real options there. The first is, if you're running Office 365, the good news is you can kind of sit back and do nothing. Microsoft are actually going to handle all of that for you. So you will get the update, and it will automatically get pushed down to you in the first half of 2015. If you're running Lync Server, now Lync Server is the on-premise version of Lync, and the reason why most people run Lync Server as opposed to Office 365 is because Lync Server will actually allow you to do your physical phone calls out of Lync. If you're running Lync Server, there's actually going to be an update, and you're going to have to upgrade your server from Lync Server 2013 to the Skype for Business Server Edition 2015. Now, Lync Server 2010, if you're running that, there's no kind of confirmation either or which way at the moment, whether or not you'll be able to upgrade. There'll be an upgrade path, but definitely for Lync Server 2013, there is an upgrade path. Microsoft have said you will not need any new hardware or equipment to actually make that happen. Finally, if you're a new customer, you will be that Lync Skype for Business system will be available for purchase from the first half of 2015, either through Office 365 or the on-premise version will be available, which is the one that you install locally if you've got local servers and you want to run your whole phone system out of Lync. Here's the quote that I was looking for. Microsoft's goal is really to bring together the familiar experience and user love of Skype with the enterprise security, compliance, and control from Lync to create the most loved and trusted communications platform for doing things together. That's from Gurdeep Paul, and that's fundamentally what Microsoft's vision is with Skype for Business and Lync together. Finally, just to touch on and tie things off, again, we try to keep these very short so that you can get the maximum out of it and continue with your day, are some very, brief predictions on what the future might look like from, I guess, people that are in the technology space and are always kind of looking at what's coming next and looking at what is being advocated by our clients. Our predictions are at this stage that Google will really struggle to compete in this area. The reason being is because Skype is such a strong brand, and it really enhances the Office 365 offering. What that means for you is if you're already using Office 365, you're at a considerable advantage. If you're using Google Apps, you've still got Google Hangouts and things like that, which will allow you to, replicate some of the functionality that you're going to get with Skype for Business. But it really does make Office 365 more of an all-inclusive, really nicely tied-off package that an organization can now deploy, and that'll allow them to, create considerable value, not only through the enhancements of Skype for Business, such as the UI and the aesthetics, but also in the ability to call Skype for Business to Skype, which we think is great. And probably the other prediction that we think is going to happen, which is there's nothing in the pipe and no official announcement or anything like that, is eventually what will happen is Skype for Business will potentially be able to offer you a full phone system, full PABX. Now, right now you can actually achieve that if you have a local Lync server and you connect a VoIP what's called a SIP trunk to it. You'll be able to use your Lync system as a phone system, which will do everything from your transferring and your IVR to making outbound phone calls to mobiles, all of that kind of thing. We feel that Skype may eventually end up offering that as a service that you can buy through Office 365. And what that will mean is you no longer need any kind of PSTN or phone systems, and all you'll do is kind of just buy Skype credit, add it to your account, and you'll have your entire phone system running from the cloud. The reason why that's not something that they've tried to do in the past is because of the concerns around call quality. So as an example, if you use Skype before, you know that every now and again it drops out. And you probably are also aware that in a corporate environment or in an NFP, it's really not acceptable for that to happen. And so Microsoft is still toying up whether they want to manage that risk and the ongoing support associated with all of those calls that may not be performing well, etc. Finally, there's something that's not on there is they're really going to start to build deeper integration into the desktop. So there's going to be, in my opinion, a lot more hooks for things like Internet Explorer, so that you can have click to call from within Lync and within Skype for Business, and it'll just be a more seamless experience integrated right across that kind of Microsoft suite of products. So that's pretty much it for this 15-minute debrief. RNG Technologies, we're an IT consultancy company. We have offices in Brisbane, Sydney, and Melbourne. We service not-for-profits and small, medium-sized business across Australia. We love to do these educational pieces. We always try to keep it on topics that are relevant and are hot and appearing in our industry. And I'd invite any questions. If you've got any questions, please feel free to type them in the box, and we'll see how we go.
Thanks, Gordon. It looks like we have Chris. Chris put his hand up. Did you have a question there for Chris? No. All right, Jerry's got a question. When do you expect Skype for Business to be available to regular Australian small businesses?
Could you repeat the last part of that question, sorry, Ross?
Sure. In essence, when do you believe Skype for Business will be available? Like, is it first half of 2015?
Yeah. So there's no committed date as yet, but it's first half of 2015. That's the general commitment at this stage.
Okay. Any other questions before we wrap things up? Okay, doesn't look like it. Again, thanks everybody for joining us for this webinar. We do like to keep them short, 15 minutes for executives, because we are time sensitive. So again, thanks Gordon for the presentation. Our next one will be probably in January, so please check our website down there at rgtechnologies.com.au/webinars to sign up for our next one. Thanks Gordon.
Thank you guys. Enjoy the rest of your day. Bye.